Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Amy and this is Thrift Adventure. I'm a full-time reseller primarily on the Poshmark app, but I do dabble on other online platforms and I sell locally. Today I'll be doing another ship with me video. In these videos, I go day to day and I share the different items that I'm shipping out. I talk about how much I paid for them, what they sold for, and what my profit was. So you want to be sure to watch all the way to the end because I always have interesting and unique items, and hopefully you can learn some new things to keep your eyes out for when you're out thrifting. So let's get started. These are sales from over the weekend, from Saturday afternoon, Sunday, and Monday morning. It turned out to be a great weekend. I am thrilled. So the first item that sold is this, I think this is Nakona brand rhinestone belt buckle. I just loved all of the detail on this. And honestly, I hoped that it would sell for a little bit more than it did, but I think I just maybe had it priced too high because I looked up comps and maybe I could have gotten a little bit more, but it had been hanging around for a little while. So this buyer offered me, let's see, $35. They started out by offering $20. And I had it listed at $49, and we ended up settling on $35. Sorry, this just sold, so I didn't have a label printed out with all my information on it. I had paid up for this a little bit. I paid $10 just because I thought it was so cool. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $18. Still a nice little profit, you know, and sometimes I'll pay up for things just because I like them, and it may not always translate to an extra high profit, but I do this business because I like it. So if something brings me joy and I can make a little bit of money on it and pass it on to someone else that will love it, then that is just fine with me. For those of you who are new here, I love selling belts. I sell tons of belts every week. So I have two more to share with you. This brown woven leather belt, I believe this is vintage. It's genuine leather, no brand name. This sold for $30. When I have a belt that has no brand name, typically I will list it under the vintage brand. If I think that it could possibly, have been from the 2000s or the 90s. And if I think that it may be newer than that, I will put a little caveat in my description saying I'm not certain of the age of this piece, but it had a vintage look to it, so I listed it under the vintage brand. I haven't had anyone be upset about that, so this sold for $30. I picked it up at an estate sale for $1, so after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $23. I am thrilled with that profit, especially for a $1 investment. This is another just real simple black leather belt. I picked this up because I liked the square shaped buckle. It is leather lined with man-made material on the outer. Also, it was in excellent condition, and I do well with basic black belts. People are always looking for nice quality and unique belts. This sold for $26. I paid $3 for it. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $15.78. Another great bread and butter sale for a belt. So if you didn't watch last week's video, I did, let's see, was it last week? The week before, I did a listing challenge, and I did 100 listings in 1 week, and it really has boosted my sales. Last week I took a break, and I think I only listed maybe 20 items, which is not great. So I decided to do another listing challenge this week. I'm going to try and do 70 listings from yesterday, Sunday, to this Sunday. So I get a total of 8 days, which seems to work for me. I did 10 listings yesterday, so I've got a good start. Hopefully I can make it. So this is a vintage brooch. It's sterling silver. It is signed Sorrento, and I just love these little pieces. Although they don't typically sell for really high dollar amounts, if I can pick them up for a reasonable price, I will still get them. I did pay a little bit more for this than I typically would like to. I paid $5, but there were some other items there that I was trying to kind of make a bundle deal on. So I paid up a little bit for this piece to get more items. Okay, so for $25, I paid $5. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $15. Still a nice little profit. I have not been to the dollar store recently, so I am out of the normal boxes or new boxes that I use. So I am dipping into my stash of recycled boxes when I'm out at estate sales or thrifting. If I am somewhere that they have a lot of jewelry, typically estate sales or yard sales, I'll ask if they have any jewelry boxes that they just want to get rid of, and usually they'll either give them to me or charge me like 10 cents a piece. And so it's a nice way to recycle. It's less expensive than buying them. I also do that with my ribbon. I only buy it secondhand because I recognize that people are just going to throw it away. So I don't want to buy new and contribute more waste. Okay, the next item I forgot to get again. I haven't been good about this. So I keep my higher value items in a safe deposit box. This was a real gold double heart brooch pin. It just had 2 interlocking hearts. It was very cute. It sold very quickly for $194. I think I had it listed for $229 and I got this offer for $194. I think the reason that it probably sold a little quicker is because Tiffany and Company does a somewhat similar brooch, although this one unfortunately was not from Tiffany, but $194 was still a great price. If you want to see that brooch, you can. I have my Poshmark closet linked in the description box below. You can click that link, and if you use the little filter button to filter to my sold listings, then you can take a look at it and see what it was, see how I described it and the keywords. This brooch made it to Dollar Day at my local estate sale company. I went there the first day. Somehow I missed it in the commotion. Or she might have had it priced up and I don't think I would have passed on it. Anyways, I think I missed it the first day. I went back and there was still a lot of great jewelry there and it was marked down to $1. I got a couple of real gold pieces and a spectacular Scottish kilt brooch that was very valuable. So don't, if you're late to an estate sale, still go in and take a look. Sometimes people miss stuff. I missed this the first day. Anyways, I'm really excited about this. It was in my death pile. I had forgotten about it and I was going through, well, my death pile everywhere here. I'm trying to dig my way out of that, but I was going through things for my 100 item listing challenge. That's another reason I like doing that, because it gets me into these boxes and bags that I've forgotten about. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. So my profit after Posh fees and my cost of goods was $154.20. Yes, I am thrilled with that. The next item that sold is this. Looks like I need to actually wipe these down before I ship them, but it is this pair of Ariat. They call this style Fat Baby. I think it's because it has this kind of wide toe. I just picked these up because I thought that the design was really unique and fun. These did take a little while to sell, but they sold for $65. I had paid up for them because I was out of town. I believe I paid $17 for them. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $35. Sometimes I'll pay a little bit more when I'm out of town, just so that I can get some inventory and use that day of thrifting as a write-off. Okay, so the next item that sold is this pair of Nike sneakers, And I just thought the colors were really fun on these, and I actually hope to get a little bit more for them, but I think that was just wishful thinking because really the value wasn't there. They were in excellent condition, or maybe I just hope to get more for them because let's see what I'm trying to say, because I paid up for them. They were marked $14.99, but I had a 10% off coupon, so I paid $13.50. They sold for $50, and they took a while to sell, probably more than 6 months because I had them priced high. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $27.50. Still a nice little profit, not gonna complain at all about that. I think the other reason I hoped these would sell for more is because I just thought they were really cute, and I would have liked to have kept them had they have been my size. They kind of gave me like an 80s, 90s feel. Okay, I've got all my boxes made up over here, and I have to reach because I have so much stuff today. Okay, so the next item that sold is this pair of basic Rothy's round toe ballet flats. Rothy's don't always sell, or they typically don't sell quickly for me. I had these for a while. I got them and a black pair. The Goodwill missed them, and so they were marked only $4.99. I listed them both, and they didn't sell. And then I got another pair of Rothy's, and so I listed the new pair and then relisted these actually, I think this was part of my 100-item listing challenge. And then they sold within 2 weeks. So sometimes when, you have a stale listing, go ahead and relist it. I looked up some stock photos. I try not to use stock photos as my primary image, but sometimes I will get the model type photo and add it to my listing, just so people can get the vibe of how something looks. And I'm not sure, but it seems like either that or just me relisting it helped. This is a pretty great sale. This is a Hobo brand purse, and this particular style, I think it's the Sheila style, is a desirable style, and so it holds its resale value better. This sold for $116. My Goodwill missed it, and they only had it priced at $6.99, so I paid $7. I think that I even had a 10% off coupon that day, but I don't remember for sure. Did I say 10% off coupon? Yeah, so after Posh, I think this also had discounted shipping. It was an offer to likers. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $83.78. That is wonderful. It didn't take a super long time to sell either, maybe a couple of months, which in my book is not very long. I'm more of what they call a long tail seller, so I like to, wait for a higher dollar amount rather than turning and burning and selling more and making less on each item, if that makes sense. Okay, and then the next item is this darling vintage 1960s little shift dress. I don't know if shift dress is the right word, but it had this cute belt, and I took this on consignment for one of my lovely friends. Sometimes I will do that to help people out, or if people have items that are really special, and she did have some really special items. I have sold quite a few things for her already. This ended up selling for $40. And, vintage dresses are kind of hit or miss for me. Sometimes I'll get, really high prices, and sometimes I'll get, you know, this $40, $50 range, which is just fine. I just, you know, because it's a vintage item and you can't get things just like it anymore, I always feel like they should, you know, have more value. But I had this for quite some time listed, so when I got this buyer offer for $40, I think, you know, I thought it was time to let it go, and it sounded like my friend was ready to move some things through. Okay, so all in all, a great weekend, and don't go anywhere. I will be back to share what else I sell. If you are enjoying my videos, or if you enjoy this type of video, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. It means so much to me. I am trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It's February 5th right now, and I'm at almost 3,400 subscribers. So it might be an aggressive goal, but I would love it if you would help me out with that. Also, if you could give this video a thumbs up and comment down below, both those things also really help me out. All right, I'll be right back. Hi again. It is, what day is it? It's Wednesday, and I've got a few really wonderful sales to share with you. A couple of things sold on Cherish. So the first sale was this pair of wine glasses, and they each have a different safari animal on them. This one has an elephant, and then you see the foot is an elephant's foot. And then this one is a cheetah or a leopard with a leopard foot. I just thought these were so cute. I picked them up at the Goodwill, and normally I only pick up sets of glasses that are 4 or more, but I just could not resist these. They were priced at $5 a piece, but I think I had a 10% off coupon, so I paid about $10 for the set. I've had them for a little while, but I listed them week before last as part of my 100 item listing challenge. So they sold within about 2 weeks. They sold for $135 for the pair. I can't believe it. And so I did figure out the brand name. It had this little mark on the bottom here. And the brand is, I'm sure I am going to butcher this. It is Makoulpa, M-A-K-O-U-L-P-A. And apparently they made, you know, this kind of safari motif glasses with the pewter bases, and there's some different shapes and sizes. Anyways, a really great sale. I feel like I'm kind of cut off in the frame here. I'm sure it's fine, but okay, so they sold for $135. I paid about $10. So after Cherish's fee, which Cherish charges a 22% fee, and my cost of goods, that made my profit $96.62. I'm thrilled with that. Going to move those out of the way so they don't get broken. The next sale is even better. I cannot even believe it. So it is a pair of these marble bookends, and they're gorgeous. They're really pretty. They did have a couple little repairs to them, a couple little chips. They are slightly different colors. I listed these for $329, and they sold for $295 plus a $10 packaging fee. So Cherish has started a new thing where you set a reserve price for your items, and then if someone hearts your item, Cherish will send them a offer that is halfway between your asking price and your reserve price. So I assume that's how this came to be, because this buyer didn't make me an offer and they just sold for that price. But I'm not going to complain at all. Can you believe that? $295? I don't even know why I listed them that high. I must have looked at comps and saw that that there were some high comps, but I am thrilled, especially because I only paid $4 for the pair of these at an estate sale. So after Cherish's fee and my cost of goods, that made my profit $235.88. I'm thrilled. Again, I'm going to move these out of the way. I do not want to risk breaking these. So if you're new to my channel and you're interested in selling on Cherish, I have the Cherish Seller's Guide linked in the description box below. And I recommend that you completely read through that before you start selling on Cherish. It tells you everything you could possibly want to know. A couple very important things is that if you have less than 10 items listed on Cherish, they charge 40% instead of 22%. So that is a big difference. You want to make sure that you have, 10 items, at least 10 items to get listed before you get going on there. Also, if you're curious how I package things like that, I'll also link a video about how I package hard goods and breakables in the description box below, so you can give that a check out. Okay, the rest of the items sold on Poshmark, and the first item is just this fun pair of vintage door knocker earrings in navy blue, kind of enamel. I've had these listed for a really long time, and I can't remember if the buyer made me an offer or they liked the item and Posher VA sent them out an offer. I'm not sure, but anyways, they sold for $22, I believe, with discounted shipping. I had paid only $1 for them. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $14.58. Nowhere near the, $235 profit, but you have to have high and low, all different amounts in your, or I feel like it's good to have all different values of items. So there's something for everyone in your, for sale. Okay, this is another great sale. This is a vintage Olga brand, OLGA. It is a full length nightgown and it has the full slip. So what that means is that it kind of somehow gets wider at the bottom and it has this beautiful drape to it. So Olga can be a collectible brand. I think I'm going to package that up off camera so I can get it nice and neat. That nightie ended up selling for $100. I had it listed for quite some time and waited for the right buyer to come along. I think I had it listed for $129 and they offered me $100. I only paid $1.50 for this at a fundraiser sale. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $78.50. Another really great profit margin. I am just thrilled with that type of sale. The next item is the other pair of Rothy's that I had. I had these listed for a little while and I found a third pair, and when I listed those, I decided to go ahead and relist these two pairs. I think that I looked up some different keywords or something when I relisted these, because they've only been relisted for about a week and a half maybe, and they sold this time. So they did both sell on offer. These sold for $45. They were in quite nice condition, but they did have a little bit of wear on them. And because I don't always have the best luck with Rothy's, when I got this offer, I just decided to accept it. She started out by offering me, I think, like 30, and we went back and forth and settled on 45. I had paid $5 for these, so after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $31. I'm happy with that and happy to just move those out. The next item that sold is this pair of vintage 501 Levi's. And one way that you can tell vintage, and do these even have it in there? I don't see it, but they have a paper tag instead of a like silky long tag. It's like a short paper tag. So anyways, I do okay with vintage Levi's. They don't usually sell, like instantly for me, but they do eventually sell, and these sold for $50. I priced them a little bit higher because it seems like the gray color is a little bit harder to find, and this buyer offered me $50. I had them priced at $59. So I'm happy with that. I paid $6 for these. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $34. Nice little profit for a pair of Levi's. I just picked up a whole heap of Levi's from an estate sale for $1 a piece. I think I got like 15 pairs, so I will be listing those. They were all quite distressed, but I actually prefer distressed vintage Levi's. I think that people like that vintage look when they are buying Levi's, so I'm happy that they all were kind of worn in. Okay, the next item didn't take very long to sell at all, although I did accept a little bit lower offer. It's this cute linen vest, and it is by Karen Kane. It is 100% linen, and it sold for $18. This is part of a big haul that I got at a fundraiser sale. I haven't even done the haul yet, just because I've had too much other stuff going on. But that's okay. You know, I buy stuff to sell it, so I didn't really want to hang on to this and wait around for, you know, a few more dollars. I haven't totaled up my cost of goods, average cost of goods for that sale, but I would estimate it is somewhere between $1 and $2, so I wrote my cost of goods as $2. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $12.40. I think I ended up spending $95 total at that sale. So actually, yeah, my cost of goods is probably only $1. But you know, that's 12 bucks back on that investment. So I am happy about that. Also, I just bought a huge lot of vintage, well, somewhat vintage silver jewelry, mostly from Mexico. And so I am excited to have some sales to replenish that money that I put out. Okay, so don't go anywhere. I'll be back real quick for you in a couple days for me, and hopefully my sales continue to be good. I will see you in a minute. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have a super exciting sale to share with you. This piece of Witco wall art sold for $725 plus a $50 packaging fee because I'm gonna have to build a box. I paid just $8 for this at an estate sale. I am beyond thrilled. It is about 4 feet tall. So Cherish charges the 22% seller's fee. After their fee and my cost of goods, that made my profit about $607. I am so excited. I will share a little bit more information about Witco at the end of this video, or in the next clip at least, when I share what I sold on Poshmark. Yay, you guys, I'm so excited. Wasn't that such an exciting sale? Who would have thought such a funky, kind of tacky piece would sell for so much money? I'm so excited. Like I said, at the end of this video, I'll talk a little bit more about Witco. I also filmed a little bit of me packaging it to give you guys a few tips on how to package oddly shaped items like that. Okay, so now on to my Posh sales. A couple exciting sales on Poshmark. This is a Tory Burch belt. It has kind of an embellished belt buckle on it. I picked this up at the Goodwill and it was like new, almost brand new. And somehow they missed the name brand and they only priced it for $2.99. Sometimes I can't believe my luck. It isn't always that good, but I do consider myself a pretty fortunate, lucky person, and I am very grateful for that. This didn't take a super long time to sell. I think maybe a month or so. I had it listed, I think for $149 or maybe $159. Because I looked up the retail on this piece and it had a pretty high retail. I have also had really good luck selling Tory Burch belts in the past. They seem to really retain their value. This buyer offered me $130, so I gladly accepted that. I thought that was a great price. That is the highest amount I've ever gotten for a Tory Burch belt. Like I said, I had paid $3 for this. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $101. I'm absolutely thrilled with that. That was a very lucky find for me. Okay, the next item is kind of a random thing. It is a Sophia Burton face cream. It is instant lifting facial serum. I am always, it is sealed and new. I am always inspired by Jen from Thrift to Travel. She shares really great tips about sourcing and selling discontinued beauty and cleaning products. Now, I don't know if this one was discontinued or not, but when I saw it at one of the small thrift stores and it was new and they only had it priced at $3, I looked it up real quick and saw that her skincare line was pretty expensive. So I listed this for $36 and it sold for full price. So, you know, sometimes finding a discontinued item can make it more valuable than it originally was. And sometimes just finding an item that has a high retail that's new, just like clothing, can make you some money. So I would really suggest following her. She's Thrift to Travel on Instagram and on YouTube. She is just so creative with her sourcing ways, and trust me, you'll learn a lot and you'll have fun watching her. Okay, so it sold for $36. I paid $3, so after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $25.80. I think that's a nice little profit. The next item that sold, these sold very quickly. I think in about 24 to 48 hours. They are a pair of vintage check glass earrings, and now these did have the hooks replaced, so I felt like that slightly devalued them, but I listed them for $89 and a buyer offered me $60. I looked up comps on eBay. I do think that there may be a little bit more value in these, but because the hooks had been replaced and I am motivated to move things in and move things out right now, I decided to go ahead and accept that. Also, I had only paid $2 for these, so that still left me with a really great profit of $46. I think that these are from the early part of the 1900s. I wasn't sure if they were from like the 20s or the 40s. So I did put that information in my listing, and I used keywords like Art Deco and Victorian style. So I am very thrilled with that sale. I love picking up jewelry, as you all know, especially when it is really affordable like that. Okay, another pair of Rothy's sold. Was that 3 this week, or did I sell 1 last week? I can't remember. But like I said, Rothy's typically aren't a quick sale for me, but I picked these up, and I had 2 other pairs that had already been listed and they were sitting. So I looked at some keywords on the website. I listed these and then I relisted the other 2. I changed the title, and I think I must have added some new keywords that helped get these sold, because all 3 pairs sold very quickly after I relisted them, which I am thrilled about. These sold for $68. Apparently this color was a retired or discontinued color, which made it a little bit more desirable. It's also possible that me doing all of those new listings has, well, it's for sure possible that it boosted my other listing placements in the Poshmark algorithm. So I'm sure there are tons of Rothy's listed. So if my, closet is really vibing with the algorithm, then Poshmark is going to show my listings higher up in the search results or suggest them to people. I don't even know exactly how it works, but I'm happy that these sold. They sold for $68. Like I said, I paid $6 or roughly maybe $6.50. They were $6.99 and I had a 10% off coupon. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $46.38. Also very thrilled with that. This piece sold for a little bit less than I hoped for, but I just decided to accept the buyer's offer. It is this vintage wool sweater, and it was marked made in Scotland. It did have a small hole at the front that I repaired. I thought it was a nice repair, but it was there nonetheless. I had this listed for $69. I sent out 20% off offers on with discounted shipping on everything in my closet yesterday or the day before. This buyer counter offered me with 40. Had this not had the repair and a little bit of wear, I may not have accepted that 40. I'm not sure. It just kind of depends on what mood I'm in. But I decided to go ahead and take it. I had only paid $1 for this. And it had been sitting in my death pile, I think since the end of last winter, because I bought it at one of our small thrift stores and they were having all their sweaters $1 at the end of winter. But then I got back here and found that it had that little hole, and then it just sat there waiting for me to do the repair. I've been trying to, with my listing challenge, I've been trying to dig into that death repair pile and get some of those items repaired so that I can make some money on them. Okay, sold for 40. I paid $1 after Posh fees and my cost of goods. That made my profit $31. That's still really great. This turned out to be an amazing week. So of course the sale of that piece of Witco art really boosted my total sales for the week, which was $2,423. I'm so excited, you guys. My total cost of goods was only $130 for that amount of sales. That is really wonderful. My total profit after website fees, my cost of goods, and any shipping discounts was $1,788.30. What a wonderful week. For those of you who are new here, typically my sales are not like this all year round. January, February, March are typically my best months of the year. And then in the summer, typically my sales are like $2,000 to $3,000 a month. So I am just going to celebrate and be super excited for, these sales this time of year. Okay, if you want to keep listening, I'll talk real quickly about Witco, and then I'll have a clip after this that shows a little bit about packaging that unusual item. So I am not an expert on Witco. I'm not an expert on a lot of things. I do a little bit of research on each thing, and I share the information that I know. Please don't take anything that I share as for sure fact. I make mistakes. I'm just a person. I really suggest that you do your own research. So I think Witco is, most of the pieces are from the 60s and 70s. They use that wood, I think it's called Cryptomeria. I apologize. I meant to write that down. But the pieces from Witco are becoming more and more collectible. They did wall art, they did statues, they did furniture. I would recommend that you just Google Witco and look at the images and you'll see some of the things. I had sold a piece from them in the past for $1,000. A dealer from Japan actually comes over and buys items. He gets a container, fills the container up, and ships it back to Japan to sell. So he bought that, and he bought a few other things. That was a few years ago, but the Witco World picture is one of the most collectible pieces from them, and that was the piece that he bought from me. If I remember, I'll put in a picture of it, but if you search Witco World, you'll easily see that. So keep your eyes out for that at estate sales, thrift stores. That is something that, a family-run estate sale might not know about, a yard sale. Thrift stores may not know about it. So there's some opportunity for profit there. Let's see, what else? I think that is it. Just, keep your eyes out for unusual things that other people may not be aware of. So like I said, I'll link the packaging information. If you enjoyed this video, please, please, please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And right now I'm at about 3,500. So I've got a ways to go. Also, if you could give this video a thumbs up and comment down below. Both those things really help me out. And I love you guys so much. Thank you so, so much for your support. It means so much to me. Okay, don't go anywhere. I will see you guys next week with a thrift with me video or another ship with me video. Okay, I figured a few of you or a lot of you would be curious how I packaged this wall hanging. So I happen to have two boxes that were the same size, and the boxes were the correct width and depth, but they weren't. I apologize if you hear T-Bird in the background. She's screaming today, but they weren't the right length or height. So what you do to make that work is you just cut these edges here on one box and you telescope the two boxes together, putting two of the flaps on the inside and two of the flaps on the outside. Then you want to make sure to tape down all of the flaps so that they don't get caught on the machinery in shipping. Let's see what's next. So of course I fully bubble wrapped this. I added extra bubble wrap on the top to protect that way, and then I added extra bubble wrap on the sides because the width of the box was the tightest fit, and so I wanted to have extra protection on this. I will also be adding filler to every open space of this box in between, the edges and the corners and everything else. And then just as an extra layer of protection, I'm going to take this extra piece of cardboard. Let's see, can you see that? And I'm just going to place it over that wood decoration part to give it a little bit extra protection. For the telescoping, I added the flaps on the inside lengthwise here to add another layer of protection. You always want to make sure that your packages are packed tight inside the box so that they cannot move or shift during transit, because that's typically how items get damaged. Sometimes, the box will get damaged or dented, and you just want to make sure that there is enough space between the edge of the box and your item that if it does get dented, it doesn't hit your actual item. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Ever wonder why UPS and other shipping places charge so much to package stuff? It's a pain in the arse. That's why. This took us over an hour. Almost a whole roll of bubble wrap, a whole roll of packing tape, a lot of time. Make sure you have good margins on your big items that you are shipping, because you want it to be worth your time and money.